Meet the OKUP M80-A dual motor executive office chair. With independent electric controls, you can recline from 95 degrees all the way to 180 degrees. The built-in massage and heat system covers your entire back with 5 customizable modes, while cooling ventilation and powered lumbar support keeps you comfortable all day. Crafted with premium leather, a heavy-duty frame supporting up to 420 pounds, and a long-lasting 2000 mAh battery, this chair means business. This is the OKUP M80-A office chair, and as you can see, it is a sight to behold. And big thanks to OKUP for sending this chair out for review. This chair does come in 2 different varieties, the M80 and the M80-A. The M80 is a simple office chair without all the extra bells and whistles such as massage, ventilation, and heating, but the M80-A includes those extra features, which are obviously nice to have. It comes in 2 separate boxes and it is rather heavy. They do recommend having a second person to help you, and that definitely would make it easier, but you can still get it done on your own if you have to. As far as the wires on the bottom, if you have the basic M80 model, there's just 1 wire that you have to connect into the battery, but if you have the M80-A upgraded model, there are 3 wires you have to connect, and one of them is a bit hard to find and connect, but once you get it, it's pretty straightforward. Now, as far as this chair goes, there's things I like about it and there's things I don't like about it, so we're going to go through all those different things to see if this is going to be your next office chair. So with that being said, let's get started off with everything I like about the OKUP M80-A. First things first, as you can see, the chair does lay virtually 180 degrees flat, and it is actually very comfortable. It does look like it's going to be extra plush and super soft without any support, but I will say looks are pretty deceiving because it definitely does have support for your body and you don't just sink into it, which is always nice to have. Now, as far as the recline goes, they do say it reclines to a flat 180 degrees. However, I feel like it's not quite 180 degrees because I don't feel completely flat, but it's close enough and it's definitely comfortable laying down like this. I could easily doze off and go into dreamland. So as you can see, not only does it fully recline back, but we also do have the footrest, which gives your legs some elevation. They are independently controlled, so you can have one high, one low, and have any combination that you want to get comfortable. The wheels on the bottom of the chair are smooth and glide on the floor effortlessly, so you can easily move the chair as needed. With a quick double tap of the control button, it'll automatically reset to 100% back down or go all the way up to its full reclined position. As you can see, the legs are independent of the back, so the legs just went down, and then I'll do the back next, and as you can see, it's gonna push me up all by itself until it gets all the way back to its starting position. You can of course hold down the button if you want to adjust it manually and stop it wherever you happen to want instead of having to just go 100%. Now, on top of that, on the side there is a little pull handle that allows you to adjust the height of the chair. If you're sitting on a chair, it'll lower, and if you're not sitting on a chair, it'll raise up. Personally, I do wish that was more of an electronic option like everything else on the chair, so I could just press a button and go up or down whether I'm sitting on it or not. But you know, it's not really that big of a deal, and to be honest, I'm not really adjusting the height all that often for it to matter. So those are the functions of the chair that are gonna come in the standard M80 as well as the M80-A upgraded version. But now we're gonna get into some features that are only in the upgraded version, such as the heated seat. Now, the heated seat does get really warm and it does feel great on your back, but keep in mind the only spot that it actually heats up is your lower back area, so the seat's gonna just stay whatever temperature happens to be in the room, and then your upper back is also left out of the party. Now, to be fair, it's not that much of a big deal, and it's pretty standard as far as heated chairs go, and it does help you keep warm, so it still works. And on top of that, it actually does have electric powered lumbar support, so you can get it pushed into your back so you can get nice and comfortable in your lumbar. So I like that. Next up is something that I really like because I do live in a warmer climate, and that is the ventilated seat. The ventilation comes from the bottom of the chair, and it does have the perforated design in the leather, so that way the air can come through, and it definitely does help you stay cool. So I really love that feature. When you turn it on, you do hear the fan blowing, and it honestly can get a bit annoying since you have to hear it. But it definitely is quieter than a standard fan that you might have in your room, so you probably won't even notice. You know, especially if you happen to have headphones on while you're gaming or working. And then finally, the feature I was really looking forward to, the massage function, because what could be better than sitting at your desk working or gaming or whatever you happen to be doing and then getting a nice little massage action going on at the same time. Now, as far as the massage goes, it's fine, but it's pretty basic. Now, when I say it's a massage, it's more so vibrations, and it does your upper and lower back. There's 2 different sections, and there's 5 different modes and patterns that you can adjust to. You're not able to adjust the intensity, and it doesn't need your back or anything like a actual massage chair, but you know, it's nice to have and it does feel fine. Now that being said, similar to the ventilation, you do hear the vibrating motors going on, so it's best to have some headphones on, although, you know, it's the vibrating pattern just like if you had like a massage gun, so it's not really that big of a deal, but just keep in mind it's not necessarily quiet. So those are all the things that I like about this chair, even though some of them are, you know, kind of iffy in the middle because there are some negatives that go along with it. But now let's move on to what I don't like about this chair. And how we're gonna start is immediately when I opened the box and saw the color, I was kind of shocked because I was expecting an off-white chair. Now granted, it might be considered user error because on the website it does list this chair as a beige color, and to be fair, if I look at this chair right now, it's beige. Okay, it's beige, fine. However, on the website, all the images of the beige chair look like they are off-white, and I really like that color that was shown in the images. So expecting an off-white chair, getting this actual beige colored chair was a bit of a shocker to me. Now I know what they say, colors are different depending on the monitor you're looking at, cameras, lighting, etc. However, I don't care what monitor you're looking at the pictures with, that is not a beige chair in the photo. It is off-white and it is completely different from the chair that I'm sitting on today. Honestly, I wish I got the black color because that's obviously gonna be black, and I was expecting off-white because I was like, off-white would look nice. But like I said, it is called beige, so if you're expecting beige, you're gonna be happy that you got beige. But if you look at the picture and you're like, yeah, I want that off-white chair, you're gonna be disappointed. Next up, this chair is made out of good quality leather material, and that's fine. However, this is more of like a luck of the draw, roll of the dice, but it did come with a rip in the chair, which is pretty annoying. You can actually see the blood red guts coming out from the inside. And honestly, for a chair of this price, that is pretty unacceptable. Granted, I'm sure they'll replace it since it came from the factory like that, but just keep in mind, quality control, it should have never left the factory to begin with. And I just can't get over the sounds this chair makes when you recline or adjust the footrest. You can just hear the leather grinding on itself, and really the design should be better so that doesn't happen, because I want it to be a nice, quiet experience when I'm using my fancy chair. All right, and then next up, the control panel. Because we have all those special features, whether it be the reclining, the leg rest, the massage, the ventilation, the heating, they're all controlled with this control panel on the right side. Now, I will say the control panel is completely unintuitive, and I haven't seen a control panel like this on an office chair since the early 2000s. They might still exist, but that's the last time I remember actually seeing it. As you can see, it's basically the alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I'm like, why? How does this make sense? They could easily, instead of putting letters on the keycaps, massage, a little heating element, put something, recline, come on, anything else. Because it's so hard to remember what is for what. It's like, okay, we have an instruction manual here that tells you what letter does what, but why do we have to go through all that? It doesn't make any sense to me why you would go with the alphabet when you could go with icons or anything else so you can know exactly what you're pressing and you don't have to have some mental gymnastics going on, like, okay, A is for the footrest to go up, B is to go back down. Why should I have to remember that? And then on top of that, it's only over here and you have to kind of feel it with your hand without looking. Like, you can lean over and look at it, but obviously that's not ideal. It would be much better if there was a wireless controller or a controller on a wire that you can just have in your hand that also, like I said, has all the functions listed out clear as day so you know exactly what's going on, instead of having to reach over here blindly where you can't even feel the buttons because there's a plastic layer on top of it for protection, water resistance, to make it fancy. I don't know, but I don't like that either. You can't feel the buttons, and you have to look over in order to see what you're pressing and then remember what each button actually does, and it might take you a few attempts before you get it right. There's so many better ways to do this, and I just don't like this one. Now, while we're on the topic of this control panel, okay, it's sleeping right now. Hold on, let me wake it up. Okay, sometimes you have to press it a few times for it to wake up because it goes to sleep after 30 seconds, which obviously makes sense to conserve battery and all that, but you know, it is what it is. But when you do this, so watch, if I raise up the footrest, it's raising. I'm not sure if you can hear this, but you can hear the leather grinding on itself, which is pretty annoying, and I really wish that wasn't a thing in a chair of this price. But right now, it's up all the way, as you can see, right? But I can still hear the motor trying to push it up more because it doesn't know it's all the way up. Which is annoying. It goes on for a bit and then it usually stops after about 10 seconds, or you can press the button again to stop it yourself. But that's annoying. Why is that a thing? It should know, oh, it's up all the way, there's resistance, let's stop. Instead, it just, you know, keeps trying to go more. And then you hear it. No, I don't like it. Now, right next to the control panel, there is a USB-A charging port, which is, I guess, nice to have, but like I said, it's USB-A, it only charges at 5 watts, so it's gonna basically trickle charge your devices. Now, the other thing is, why even have it to begin with? If you're gonna be at your office desk, you're gonna obviously have somewhere to plug in your devices, most likely, so it's kind of pointless to have to begin with, and then they have it and it only charges at 5 watts. So I guess it's better to have than not have. And then on top of that, the battery of the chair that's controlling the chair, as well as powering that USB-A port, is only 2,000 milliamp hours. So if you plug in your phone and charge up your phone with it, that 2,000 milliamp battery is going to be depleted in one day if your battery is that low on your phone. So I feel like we don't need it, but I guess it's better to have than not have. So it is what it is, but I'm never going to use it personally. But while we're on the topic of that 2,000 milliamp hour battery that powers this chair, I guess it's nice to have a battery in it so you don't have to be plugged into a wall. I guess. It's supposed to last about 1 month on a single charge, which is okay, I guess. But the main thing here that I do not like, you probably figured it out by now with my rant, but you have to recharge it every 1 month, give or take, depending on how often you use the chair. Could be more, could be less, depends how many times you recline it, how much massage function you use, how much ventilation and heating you use. There's so many variables here. It could be way less than a month if you have a massaging you all day. I mean, that's got to use a lot of power. So 2,000 milliamp hours, they should have definitely put a bigger battery in this big chair. But that's not the thing I hate about it, because obviously batteries deplete, you recharge it, whatever. My thing I hate about it is, what is this? It's an office chair. Where are you gonna have it? At your desk. Where is your desk? Next to an outlet. What do we have? We have this long power cable that can reach. Like, you can plug it in and charge it without having to move closer to a wall. It's pretty long. So what's the problem? The problem is when you have this plugged in, I'll just plug it in right quick. You can't do anything. You cannot use this chair while it is plugged into a wall charging. There's no pass-through power. What? Now, some people might like that it has a battery and you don't have to be tethered to a wire. That's fine, cool. But I personally would rather have it always plugged in and never have to be like, oh, my battery died before I can recline it. Let me plug it in and charge it for who knows how long before it starts working again. And then I have to unplug it, stop it from charging, recline it, turn on the ventilation. Oh, actually on that note, you can't use the ventilation, heating, or massage while it's plugged in charging. So in order to use any of that, guess what you have to do? Unplug it and hope the battery is charged enough to last you through your day, which honestly it probably won't be unless you charge it overnight or something. Come on. That is unacceptable for a chair of this cost. That is unacceptable for a professional executive office chair. That is unacceptable for a chair that has all these features that require the battery and you can't use it while it's plugged. I'm sorry, I just can't get past that. It's an office chair that's gonna be in your office, stationary. Like when I'm in my office working, I'm not gonna be sliding around the room, being like, oh, I'm gonna go all the way to the other corner. I'm glad I'm not plugged in. I'm gonna just be sitting in the same spot every day for the rest of my life, doing whatever I'm doing, gaming, working, whatever. I don't need a battery. I need it to be plugged in and work while it's plugged in. Like watch, I'm gonna try to turn on the massage. Nothing will turn on. I'm trying everything. I'm trying to recline it, won't work. I'm trying to put this down, won't work. And then on top of that, while it's plugged in, it keeps showing the lights going as it's charging, but I've had it plugged in for 2 days now and it's just still going. It doesn't ever tell me that it's done charging. So I have no idea if it's charging, done charging, if it's defective and not charging at all. I don't know what's going on, but my main thing is when it's plugged in, I should be able to use the functions of the chair. Like imagine going to work one day, you show up like, oh, I'm so excited. I'm gonna get my massage, the heat on, it's cold in here. And then you're like, oh wait, battery's dead. Let me plug it in. You're like, oh, I can't use it yet. I gotta charge it first. And then you're like, okay, I charged it for 10 minutes, let's go. And then maybe you can use it for a while, but then it's gonna die throughout your day because it's not fully charged. Like, it just seems like a, I don't know. I don't know how it made it through R&D because, come on. This isn't like a portable chair I'm gonna take with me. It's a massive chair that's gonna stay put. And whether you want a battery or not, it should be able to work without the battery. So if that battery goes kaput one day, you have to replace that battery, otherwise it's not gonna work. I feel like I'm ranting, but I mean, it's a big deal for me. That's a huge oversight. I just can't believe it. Like right now, I'm stuck like this. If I wanna get off, I have to go like this or unplug it and hope the battery's charged. And also, my back hurts. It's cold in here, but I can't do anything about it unless I unplug it after the battery's charged up enough for me to do it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I ranted too much, but you got the gist of it, right? You got my point. Let me know if you agree with that because I can't believe that made it to production. But overall, like I said, the chair is comfortable. I've been sitting in here this whole time and it feels great. Like I feel comfortable. I don't feel any pressure points on me. It feels good. But like I said, I can't get over the main thing of not being able to use it while it's plugged in for all the features that I upgraded for, and also even the basic features that come in the basic version, like reclining, using the lumbar, and also the footrest. It just needs to work while it's plugged in. Am I wrong? And then on top of that, like I said, the color was a surprise because the pictures show off-white. Every picture does not look like this. Benefit of the doubt, I guess, maybe they're lighting, but they should look at it and adjust it to make it look more realistic to what you should expect in the mail. But if you can get past the unintuitive control panel and the lack of use while it is plugged in, it's a good chair. It's nice and comfortable. I can sit on here all day without an issue. I can game, I can work, I can relax, I can rest, I can take a nap, all that. Because overall it is a nice, comfortable chair with a good size that supports up to 420 pounds. So pretty much anybody can use this chair without a problem. I mean, look how wide it is here. I got tons of room on here. I could put 10, okay, I probably can't. I was gonna say I could put another person next to me if I wanted to. Probably not, but I have space on here. I'm not feeling cramped on here, so it's a good design. It's just the more technological part of the chair definitely needs some work. So if you want to call me up to do some R&D for you, I mean, I think I got you covered already. Just go back a couple minutes. But overall, it's a fine chair. Nice and comfortable, and will be great for the office or especially gaming, since gaming chairs are usually hard and uncomfortable. This is definitely an improvement.